Hi there, thanks for joining me. This is a series of videos about the foundational alignment within a team that wants to plan, track, and collaborate really well to deliver change. It's not really a lot of coaching going on here, it's more of a demonstration of the tools, the cadence, the ceremonies, and whose roles or responsibilities that would be. So I've already done a video on how we would get the vision of visible on a board and how we track that, and how we would then I did a video about how the product managers would take that vision and break it down into objectives, but also integrate into that the projects that are going on along with the project managers. And when I did that, we talked about a little bit about the RAID that you could also put in on those boards in order to keep a single system that's visible, that's available in every single ceremony for review, and really is the only documentation you need. Very highly visible documentation. This video is going to go through 5 different ceremonies and go through very quickly how you can manage those on a board using cards, and how, more importantly, they can all be linked underneath the objectives that we've created, that the product and project managers have created. So we're going to look at the key results. Now, they might sometimes be called features. So we're going to be looking at OKRs. The last video was objectives. This is key results. So I'm going to call them key results. And we're also going to accommodate that RAID for the project managers. So the last set of RAID we did was for the portfolio level, because that's across big vision items. This one will be more at the within the team that the project managers need to look at. Those would be things like inter-team dependencies, for example, would might be a risk or an issue. So those would be at this level. So I'm going to go in now to demonstrate that. This is for the leadership in an agile environment. So your product owners and your scrum masters are really going to lead these sessions. They're still going to work with the product managers at this point, and the project managers. Project manager is definitely on that RAID, but really it's the delivery leads, the scrum masters and product owners that are going to look at this. So let's have a look at the first thing I'm going to go through, and this would be how we get our objectives turned into key results. And you would do that at the refinement session, or you might do some pre-PI planning refinement. But certainly every 12 weeks you're going to do this, and the product owner is very much going to own this. And I'm going to jump into a board now and show you how that's done in a aligned way. The reason why the tool's really important is that if everyone aligns, we're all comfortable that we can all self-serve and the connectivity happens. So just to review where we were, we have vision statements. Underneath those, we have objectives. But in order to really refine those objectives, we're going to go to the portfolio objectives. And at this point, you may need to do some filtering to say, well, actually, I only want to look at a particular vision today. So we'll only have a look at the having this one, and we're going to refine only the objectives there. We wouldn't be refining anything in the doing or done column. We'd really be focused on the quarterly planning, refining this. This one has 3 already. To add a new key result, you would use this button here, and we can just put a new key result. And obviously it'd be better than that. And because we're refining, we wouldn't allow that just to sit like that. We would then be with the team refining this, and the product owner would definitely be owning this at this point. So we'll put the product owner against it, and the product owner would be responsible for talking with the team about refining that, and that would be progressively happen. That's why sometimes that takes a long time. You do a lot of that and prepared for that quarterly planning on that cadence. So that's how you refine these new items into the backlog. So that's the refinement session. How the tools help. Like I say, it's very brief. I'm only going through the alignment part of it, not the coaching part of it. Once you've done that, though, then you would plan them. So this is a lot more collaborative with the objectives. So you can refine as much as you like. You probably do just what you think is going to fill the quarter and a bit more, as opposed to the planning is really saying, well, how many of those can we get done? Now, when you come to doing the planning, the refinement should already be done. So you refine 6 to 8, and then you go and plan them. So when we do that, we would change this view, because what you want to do then is you want to be looking at these. You want to be looking at the highest priority key results. So you might have 4 key results under here, but actually only the top 2 are a priority this quarter, because we actually have some work under the second one, and these are very important as well. So we're going to prioritize this 80%, this one, above the bottom 2 there. And you can do that through the project's key results view. So when this comes up, you'll see these are all here. The product owner, you might have more than one product owner that has to work together to get this done, along with the product manager and the team would say, actually, I want to prioritize that one to be higher than some of the other ones that are on different objectives. You don't really want to silo your work now into the objectives because your team wants to be agnostic of that and work on the highest key result. And at that point, you're really just planning. So what you're doing there is just saying, well, how much effort will that be? I'm not going to go into how you estimate, but let's just say that will be 2 effort, and you might even commit it to a quarter. So in here, I'm going to go, that will be done in quarter 1. And that would be what you would do in that session. And that allows you to then go, well, actually, we know that we can fit 15, whatever you want to call them. I want to call them story points because everyone's used to that, but story points per quarter because we know that's what we finished last quarter. So now you know you can go and refine another one until you get to 15, and then you stop putting things in the quarter. And that's the refinement at this level. And at that point, the team can have a lot of autonomy to take that away. So that's the planning. You've got that done. Okay, move on to the next item. The product manager and product owner would be looking at. But this is really a project item, I beg your pardon. This is the project managers. So while you're at quarterly planning, you're also going to be digging out any risks, issues, assumptions, and decisions. Now, we want those to be put in the same place so they can be reviewed there afterwards. So we're going to both have a session at that quarterly session to put those in. And I did this in the other videos, but because you may only be watching this video, I'm just going to go through simply how you do that. So I'm going to go back to my objectives, and I'm going to identify with this objective, we have a risk. So this one here, I'll do something different this time actually. So with this one, we've made a decision. They can authenticate through standard menu, decision, no two-factor for MVP. You want to make sure that's there. You want to make sure it's owned. As you put it in, you do the usual refinement of that, and we would go in and we would put those in. So I'm going to go, well, that's going to belong to the product manager made that decision, save and close, you'd put the details in. And then again, when you're in those meetings after that, you can go and see those. But at this point, we're just planning and we're putting in all of the things we have to capture. They would belong to the management tier. They would have to go and take those into ceremonies after that. Okay, so that's the key results and I beg your pardon, that's the planning done. So you leave PI planning with something that looks like a set of key results which are committed to the quarter with the iteration on an owners and an estimate and all of your RAID captured as well. And that then allows you to then track that through a normal sprint cadence there afterwards. So the next ceremony that you'd want to run is something that looks like an SOS every few days. And at that one, you would only be doing by exception, but at least you now have a visual using the board for what you'd be looking at. So in this one, we'd go to this view at the SOS, and depending on whether you did it, let's have a look at, I'd probably look at one item at a time. The highest priority item is the 80%. What have we got going on here? Nothing's in progress yet, and we don't have any RAID. Right, let's go to the next one, and you'd be doing this by, oh, I beg your pardon, there we go. There it is, it's hidden over there, so I just need to find it. Right, that one's done. Okay, let's have a look at the next highest priority objective we have, and then the final objective we have, users can authenticate. We will finally see on there that we also have this decision that's not underway. Now, this wouldn't have it happening. We would have things in the middle column, most of all. In fact, if somebody tried to discuss this one in an SOS and it's not in the doing, I would try and say, look, it's not even in progress. You go away, get it in progress, and then come back with an update. And at the SOS, it's going to be between the Scrum Master and the Project Manager. The Project Manager is going to be interested in the RAID. The Scrum Masters are going to be really talking about the key results. The final ceremony is the review. So when all that's done, so after going through your SOSs twice a week probably, you're going to be able to use the same board and the same visual to have a look at, I'll close this and get rid of the filters, at all of those items. And at this point, when you're reviewing, you'd be looking at the done and the doing, and you'd see how you got on. And these would all have work underneath them, which we would be tracking. So all of these would have, look, see, these got this work. Nothing can be in the done if it's still got a risk open and some work. And it's the next video that I'm going to go into how that work's actually going to be done. So what I've covered in this video is how the teams get involved in the work that's come from the vision to the objective. So we've got the vision that's been turned into many objectives. And then through refinement, through quarterly planning, we've controlled that into key results. So once you've got those key results and the team's been involved in that, and got refined and sized and planned and committed it to that quarter, you would then look at a self-managed team to have the autonomy to go away and deliver those key results, but having a standard aligned way of tracking and planning and collaborating on that. And that's what I'll cover in the next video. Okay, thanks for your time.